SportsCenter.
Hey, I'm Chris Berman. Got a lot of games to cover. Let's get at it. In our first game this week, we had the Cowboys squeeze out a 4-point victory. In a long-standing NFC rivalry, we had the 49ers pick up win number 2. Plexico Burress had over 50 yards receiving and helped his Steelers beat the Browns. Warwick, well done. Get another good performance in the win and showed us why he's ranked up at the top of the league. Vikings, Texans. And Corey Bradford was definitely a key as he was able to work his way open for a big one here. The Texans go on to win this by the final score of 21-0. We had a big injury in this one, and Trey has the lowdown for us. Trey?
All right, Boomer, thanks. In front of you, we've got the AFC Infirmary Report. And as you can see, they were hit hard this week. John Lynch is probably the one that most leaps out at you. A hairline fracture of the arm is the initial report, and the doctors are saying he'll be out for the rest of the regular season. There's a chance, however, they'll get him back for the playoffs. In front of you, we've got the NFC list. And as you can see, they could form their own MASH unit. Marcus Robinson might be the biggest loss on this list. A hairline fracture of the arm is the initial report, and the doctors are saying he'll be out for 9 weeks. On to the serious news of the week. Ike Hilliard will miss the remainder of the year, and this is a big blow to this passing game because he was obviously a main target. Now we'll move on to our top story of the day. Randy Moss is going to be watching from the sidelines for a while, as his injury will deal a major blow to this team. So that'll do it for now. Boomer, back to you.
Deep in Cajun country in New Orleans, we had the Saints lose by just a single point. Down in Qualcomm Stadium, we had the Chargers get sent away with a 7-point loss. Panthers, Broncos. Sent away with Stephen Davis. Get up ahead of steam, and then it was clear sailing from there. The Broncos win this one by the final score of 10-7. The Patriots defense held their opponents to under 50 rushing yards in their win at Gillette Stadium. The Titans won on the road and will now head home to meet the Texans. In a long-standing AFC rivalry, we had the Bills win their 4th game of the year. Ravens, Redskins. In their 4th, DeVar Darley emerged as a real weapon as he pulled one in here. The Ravens go on to win this by the final score of 20-7. The Reverend Isaac Bruce had over 50 yards receiving and helped his Rams beat the Seahawks. And in our final game, we had the Raiders come away victorious.
All right, Chris, let's switch gears and talk about players that'll have new homes in the National Football League, as free agency continues to play such a huge role in determining a team's makeup. Dave Fiore will be moving on from his current address, and he gets a pretty good deal to do it. 2 years, $1.7 million.
So that'll just about do it. But before we go, I'm going to toss out a few game balls to my prime-time players. Each and every one of these men had a week to remember. That'll do it, sports fans. I'm Chris Berman, and thanks so much for joining us here in the Bristol studios. We'll see you next week right here on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.